You want to know what makes Diddy being publicly shamed like this so left? Sean Carter is worse.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact.
Hope they don't, but if they detain him, that's when all lining up with their hand in there.
As we all know, Diddy's indictment has been the latest bombshell in town. And let's face it must have taken some serious scheming to pull off something this huge. Now, to make things even crazier, rumors are swirling that R. Kelly from behind bars might testify against his old buddies Diddy and Jay-Z. It is looking like this whole thing is just about to blow up in everyone's face.
What did R. Kelly discuss to you about Jay-Z that you could share with our audience?
So here's the kicker. While everyone else might be surprised, Jay and Diddy probably saw this coming. Word is Jay-Z had already distanced himself from Kelly during his tough times, so Kelly turning on them might not sting as much as people think.
I felt like Jay-Z wanted to get him for whatever reason. I don't know if it could have been some Illuminati sacrifice.
But folks are supposedly saying this could be the final nail in the coffin for both of them, especially since whatever R. Kelly reveals could be explosive.
And that was his revenge to fund the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, and that fucked R. Kelly life and got him locked.
What's really fueling the fire is the sense that this might be more than just a courtroom battle. It could be a personal showdown, a form of revenge. Remember, Bo came out not too long ago spilling the tea on R. Kelly's whole situation, and word on the street is that Bo's life was threatened afterwards because of it.
That's all from details, but yeah, I got shot. I really don't know where it came from. So, all these conspiracy theories.
Now, it seems like R. Kelly and Diddy are connected not just through their past, but through eerily similar charges.
Prolific serial who utilized his status as a Grammy Award-winning household name to inflict pain and anguish on so many.
Sealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with conspiracy, interstate transportation for.
It's like the pieces of a puzzle are slowly falling into place. And the picture we're seeing is that R. Kelly might have all the dirt needed to put both Diddy and Jay-Z in some serious legal trouble. He's already doing time, so from his perspective, why not bring his former friends down with him? It's almost as if he's holding all the cards and he's finally ready to play them.
Just to sum it up, man, he basically was saying, Jay-Z with that organization. You know what I mean? Jay-Z, some people say about Illuminati, the Illuminati is under them who running the music industry. So.
As for Jay-Z, the pressure is definitely mounting. So far, he's managed to keep his name relatively clean in all of this, with no official charges against him. But let's not forget, people like Jaguar Wright have been calling Jay-Z out for a while now, claiming that what Diddy's dealing with is nothing compared to the skeletons in Jay-Z's closet.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it.
On top of that, rumors have been swirling for years that Jay-Z made a move against R. Kelly while he was behind bars. And now people are wondering if he'll try something similar to keep him quiet this time around. But with Kelly supposedly ready to spill everything, it might be too late for damage control. There's a lot to unpack here. Let's go straight in. So it all kicked off when news of Diddy's arrest spread like wildfire. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered some pretty disturbing stuff, and whispers started circulating that Diddy wasn't flying solo in all of this. The real shocker? Some sources started pointing fingers at none other than Jay-Z. Now everyone knows Jay and Diddy have always been tight. Whether it's been through business deals or their shared status as music moguls, they've had each other's backs for years.
That one nigga. He feel like what's it called? He's more. Yeah, more. Let's go celebrate.
But as soon as Jay-Z's name got tossed into the mess, his old nemesis, R. Kelly, started stirring things up from behind bars, supposedly dropping bombshells left and right. And it seems like people are all ears and ready to dig into the dirt being thrown around in the industry. Now, you might think R. Kelly's prison sentence was purely about justice. But hold on, there's a twist. R. Kelly himself is now claiming that Jay-Z played a role in getting him locked up. Apparently, there was some behind-the-scenes scheming during his trial, with rumors flying about juror misconduct. And here's the kicker. Some of those jurors might have been influenced by a documentary, which rumor has it was funded by Jay-Z himself. It's like we're watching a real-life drama unfold in real time.
Jay-Z wanted to get him for whatever reason. I don't know if it could have been some Illuminati sacrifice.
But wait, there's more. R. Kelly isn't just sitting back and taking it. Nope, he's allegedly gearing up for a serious legal showdown, and he's bringing in the big guns. Bill Cosby's lawyer, no less. He's not just aiming to challenge his conviction, he's going for an all-out reversal. And here's where it gets even juicier. His legal team is claiming that 2 jurors who saw that documentary should have never been allowed anywhere near his case. Why? Well, apparently, Jay-Z might still be salty over allegedly losing a $70 million lawsuit to R. Kelly. And this whole thing could be some kind of elaborate revenge plot. It's honestly like something straight out of a Hollywood thriller. So fast forward to the present, and R. Kelly is making some major moves. He's not going down without a fight and has officially filed an appeal to try and overturn his conviction. His legal team is throwing everything they've got into this, arguing that the jurors were biased and claiming Kelly wasn't aware of how young some of his partners were. It's turning into a legal battle that's bound to keep everyone on the edge of their seats, with Kelly fighting tooth and nail for his freedom whilst pulling his buddies in. But hold up, there's more to this than just the court drama. Word on the street is that Kelly has a serious bone to pick with some high-profile celebrities, and he's not keeping quiet about it. Apparently, he's on a mission to air out their dirty laundry, believing that they abandoned him when he needed their support the most. And of course, people are buzzing with speculation. Who could they be? After Diddy, could it be Jay-Z? Rumors are swirling about who's on this alleged hit list, with names like a well-known rapper and a famous singer being tossed around. The internet is in a frenzy, and everyone's trying to piece together who these celebs might be. But here's where it gets even more interesting. According to some reports, Kelly and his team are allegedly working with federal authorities, trying to cut a deal. The word is he's offering up dirt on other celebrities in exchange for a lighter sentence. If the rumors are true, the feds might be sitting on a treasure trove of explosive information, and things could get even messier. Now, in case you haven't been keeping up with the headlines, R. Kelly's legal troubles stem from serious accusations involving inappropriate relationships, especially with underage girls.
Prolific serial who utilized his status as a Grammy award-winning household name to inflict pain and anguish on so many.
It's a scandal that's rocked the music industry, and then, out of nowhere, Diddy was exposed, giving 2 of Jay-Z's close friends and industry associates being accused for almost the same crimes. But where this gets really exciting is that Kelly has now supposedly pointed the finger at Jay-Z, accusing him of engaging in similarly disturbing behavior. People can't stop asking why Kelly supposedly decided to call out his former collaborator and friend like this. But it just looks like it is about time. According to Ronnie Bowe, another close friend of Kelly, there's a sense of unfairness in how things have played out. Kelly feels like he's shouldering all the blame, while Jay-Z seems to have walked away unscathed.
Prior to that event, he said like days before the event, he was getting death threats that he felt like was coming from Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z was trying to basically outrageous, but he felt like Jay-Z wanted to get him killed for whatever reason. I don't know if it could have been some Illuminati.
This has sparked a lot of debate, with many fans chiming in. Some believe that turning a blind eye to someone else's wrongdoing makes you just as guilty. In fact, they argue that if you witness something terrible and do nothing about it, you're complicit in the act. And here's where things get even more uncomfortable. Some fans are speculating that the people staying silent may have their own secrets to hide. They suggest that these individuals might be afraid to speak out because it could implicate them in something similar. This has led people to dig up old and resurfacing accusations about Jay-Z, bringing the spotlight back onto his past. One of the biggest talking points has been Jay-Z's rumored involvement with teenage girls, like Aaliyah and Foxy Brown. Allegedly, Jay-Z started dating Foxy when she was just 14, And by the time she was 15, the two were reportedly involved, with Jay-Z being 24 at the time. It's a seriously disturbing story that's been whispered about for years, and it's another dark chapter in Hollywood's history, where questionable things often get swept under the rug. Jay-Z did eventually address these rumors in his song Picasso Baby, where he rapped, "I never stuck my in the Fox's box, but damned if I ain't opened Pandora's box. They try to slander your man on CNN and Fox. My Mirandas don't stand a chance with cops. Even my old fans like old man just stop. I could if I would, but I can't." He was clearly trying to shut down the gossip, but it didn't go unnoticed, especially by Foxy herself. She later revealed in an interview that she was shocked when Jay-Z dropped that line, saying that they used to laugh off the rumors together. Foxy went on to explain that they had a relationship beyond just making music, and she never expected Jay to address the speculation publicly. But as it turns out, the talk about her age back then started to get to Jay, which is why he decided to finally mention it. Foxy felt it was a bit embarrassing and out of the blue, especially since she was still basically a kid at the time, and she wasn't happy about being dragged into the spotlight over it. In the interview, she said, "Would I say I was shocked when Jay said the line in Picasso Baby? Yes, because we've talked about that. We have a history that supersedes music. We know how this business works. We sit back and we laugh at those rumors. We laugh at that." I think he began to feel the pressure because people began to say, my age, the age thing. She was 15, 14 after a while. That gets to a person, the fact that he felt he needed to say that means something struck a chord. So while R. Kelly's situation unfolds in court, it seems like the ripple effects are hitting other big names in the industry too. Whether any of these rumors hold water remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, the drama is far from over. It's definitely strange, right? Foxy was allegedly involved with Jay when she was just a teenager, and now here she is, as an adult, defending him. It's one of those things that makes you pause and wonder what's really going on. And let's not forget, consent doesn't really count in this case because she was a minor at the time, so it adds a whole extra layer of awkwardness and complexity to the situation. If these rumors are true, we're talking about a pretty serious situation. But while the spotlight is on these claims, Jay-Z has kept pretty quiet about it all, especially when it comes to his rumored connection with Aaliyah. He hasn't said much, but his former business partner, Dame Dash, definitely didn't hold back. According to Dash, Jay-Z was very interested in Aaliyah, but she wasn't feeling the same way. Instead, Dash ended up being the one to capture her heart. It's a messy web of rumors, accusations, and complicated relationships. And it raises a lot of questions about accountability and responsibility in all of this. In an interview, Dash, who co-founded Rockefeller Records with Jay-Z, spilled some major tea. He talked about how Jay-Z had his sights set on Aaliyah, but she just wasn't interested in him, saying, "I just threw my A game, and then I guess Jay was trying to get at her as well, and I didn't know it got brought up, and I was like, F both of y'all, but it never worked out for them, and we were both trying to get at her, and I kind of eased up, but then we ran into each other. It's a long story." It's wild when you think about how these stories from the past are now coming back around. All of this makes you wonder, where does accountability start, and who's responsible for what? These are powerful figures in the industry, and hearing these stories come out really puts a spotlight on how these situations get handled, or in some cases, buried. But it does not look like anything is about to be buried this time. Back in those days, there were rumors swirling around that Jay-Z was trying to get close to Aaliyah, the try again singer. But those whispers never really stuck because there wasn't much solid evidence behind them. However, one rumor that has stuck with Jay-Z for years is the conspiracy theory surrounding Aaliyah's tragic death. Some fans believe Jay-Z sacrificed Aaliyah so that Beyoncé could rise to fame and become the global superstar she is today. It sounds pretty wild, but this theory has had some people, even hardcore Jay-Z fans, raising an eyebrow. What really gets some of these fans questioning Jay-Z's morals is not just the conspiracy about Aaliyah, but also the allegations surrounding his relationship with Foxy Brown. For many, if the story came from just one or two people, they'd probably brush it off. But when you have multiple people, including some well-known figures, coming forward with similar stories, That's when people start thinking there might be some truth to it. Some fans and other celebrities even started comparing him to R. Kelly and Diddy, saying that Jay-Z might be just as bad, if not worse, than his industry crime pals. One of the big questions people are asking is why Jay-Z collaborated with R. Kelly not once, but twice, when it was already public knowledge that R. Kelly had married Aaliyah when she was just 15. Fans are angrier, wondering how Jay-Z could have been comfortable working with someone like that, especially knowing what was going on behind the scenes. There's been a lot of outrage, with many calling out Jay-Z, demanding that he takes responsibility for his actions. One person who has not really kept mute about this is Dame Dash. He couldn't wrap his head around why Jay-Z would go ahead and do 2 major projects with R. Kelly, especially when everyone knew about his shady past. Dash made it clear that he didn't want a dime from those collaborations, and he insisted that any money he was supposed to make from their work together should be donated to Aaliyah's foundation. I just couldn't believe Jay did a project with R. Kelly when knowing that he'd RD my girl, Aaliyah. I was like, just don't put my name on that. I don't want no money from that. If it is, put it to Aaliyah Foundation. For Dash, it was about standing up for what was right and showing respect to Aaliyah, who had been a big part of his life.
Aaliyah is key to everything. Aaliyah and I were very serious. We talked about getting married, so I knew exactly what went on.
All this drama has sparked intense debates online, with fans digging deep into the connections between Jay-Z, Diddy, and R. Kelly. While some are defending Jay, others are furious, believing that Jay-Z's silence and willingness to work with Kelly shows a darker side of the rapper that's just now coming to light. It's a messy situation, and people are left wondering if we'll ever get the full story. Before things soured between them in 2004, Jay-Z and R. Kelly were more than just industry acquaintances. They were collaborators and friends. They had worked on a few projects together, and their relationship seemed solid. But as R. Kelly's legal troubles began to unravel, especially during his trial for child exploitation and other heinous crimes, many celebrities distanced themselves from him. The once celebrated Pied Piper of R&B was being called out for his predatory behavior, and people in the industry were quick to cut ties. However, Jay-Z and Beyoncé, they didn't follow the same path. They stayed noticeably quiet, refusing to criticize or publicly address R. Kelly's actions, which led to wild speculation. Some started to wonder if they knew more than they were letting on and had been aware of his crimes all along. Fans of Jay-Z tried to defend him, claiming he had no clue about Kelly's private life and was merely a business partner. They argued that Jay-Z's connection with R. Kelly was purely professional and didn't go beyond the studio. That defense took a major hit in 2002, though, when Nas spilled some serious tea during an interview with Wendy Williams. Nas not only distanced himself from Kelly, but also called out Jay-Z for pretending like he didn't know what was happening. Nas claimed that both he and Jay-Z were fully aware of what was going on behind the scenes with R. Kelly.
I could have showed the R. Kelly video that everybody's talking about, made fun of it, and said, yo, Jay's hanging out. When Jay and them was in there doing Festival Awards, you can't me Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come in the studio and R. Kelly's lap.
In that interview, Nas didn't hold back, saying, I could have shown the R. Kelly video that everybody's talking about and made fun of it and showed pictures of Jay hanging out. You can't tell me Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come into the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. You're not going to tell me he didn't see a 14-year-old girl come into the vicinity. Even after that bombshell, Jay-Z continued to collaborate with R. Kelly. In fact, during Kelly's first accusations of being involved with an underage girl in 2002, Jay-Z publicly supported him. He downplayed the controversy and hyped up their collaboration, saying their album, The Best of Both Worlds, was bigger than music. In his words, it was like Martin and Malcolm coming together. This while the Chicago Tribune was reporting around the same time that 2 anonymous women had accused Kelly of when they were underage. Although these cases didn't go far because the women refused to provide more evidence, Kelly's reputation was in tatters. Still, Jay-Z stood by him, stating, I got love for the dude, when Kelly was later indicted on child porn charges. Jay-Z added, if he's guilty, I just hope and pray he gets help. If he's not, I wish everybody embraces him after Kelly's released. This loyalty didn't sit well with everyone. While other stars had cut off ties with Kelly, Jay-Z continued working with him, releasing music, and going on tour. Even Dame Dash, who had once been Jay-Z's closest business partner, called him out for sticking with Kelly. Dame admitted that he couldn't keep talking to Jay because he felt the rapper should have distanced himself from Kelly by then. Despite the backlash, Jay-Z and Kelly went ahead with their joint album Unfinished Business in 2004 and even went on tour that same year. Many speculated that Jay-Z's decision to stay in Kelly's corner was more about the money than anything else. According to reports, just their first 2 shows in Chicago were estimated to bring in a whopping $1.6 million. Fans started accusing Jay-Z of prioritizing his bank account over his reputation, and some even suggested that by continuing to work with Kelly, he might be complicit in Kelly's crimes. For some, this marked a turning point, where Jay-Z went from being a respected mogul to someone who might be willing to overlook disturbing behavior for the sake of profit. In the end, it left fans and industry insiders divided, some thinking Jay-Z was simply chasing money, while others believed he might have known much more about Kelly's predatory behavior than he ever let on. One of the fans commented, "I believe everything he said about Jay-Z, keep hearing different S-word about Jay-Z. That ninja is a snake for real." Another one went ahead and added, "I believe that there are more people than R. Kelly that need to be in a jail cell." Recently, R. Kelly's lawyer, Jennifer Bonjon, made an appearance on TMZ Live to explain the latest Supreme Court filing in his case. She laid out a pretty strong argument, even going as far as to say that this particular Supreme Court might be the perfect one to hear Kelly's appeal. In her opinion, they could very well side with him, setting politics aside and focusing solely on the legalities of the situation. Kelly is essentially asking the Supreme Court to throw out his convictions for his alleged actions with underage girls. Bonjon's main argument centers around the statute of limitations. She's claiming that the supposed crimes occurred too long ago and should no longer be prosecutable. Back in 2020, R. Kelly faced serious charges related to possessing child porn and sexual misconduct with underage girls from the 90s. Kelly's legal team argued that these charges should have been dismissed because the statute of limitations had expired. However, prosecutors hit back, referencing a 2003 law known as the PROTECT Act, which essentially removes the statute of limitations for child sexual exploitation crimes. The real twist here, according to Bonjon, is that Kelly's actions took place before the PROTECT Act was enacted.
Congress passed a law that was intended to apply prospectively. So when they extended the statute of limitations, they didn't say, oh, you can apply it to cases that existed or the conduct happened before this.
Meaning the law shouldn't be applied retroactively. The Act specifically states that the statute of limitations is indefinite for crimes committed after 2003, but it doesn't say anything about applying that rule to things that happened before. This legal technicality could make all the difference in Kelly's appeal. But here's where things get even more interesting. If this appeal does get heard and the case goes further, it might open a whole new can of worms for other big names in the industry, including Jay-Z. There's speculation that if Kelly's appeal gets traction, attention could shift to other figures, and Jay-Z's past might come under the microscope in ways we haven't seen before. Some are even suggesting that the dirt on Jay-Z could be worse than what's been uncovered about Kelly and Diddy combined. If this appeal goes through, it might not just be R. Kelly fighting for his freedom. There could be more fallout for some of music's biggest stars. There you have it. Thank you for watching.